Yes, hello and good morning to Ivan Che Innocent One here on YouTube. Said the Mexicano. Today is another day, and I think that this weekend was a very terrible weekend. Indeed, a black Saturday, and we are a fan of music. Oh, Krumha, and as I even won't pay music, Krana, Daddy Lumba is a legend. May I sure say OT news, unfortunately, no. Uh, Oka baby, and I had shaky the foundations of this country because for me, I think that near my Daddy Lumba I hear true music. No, I'm not sure say anybody in this life I mean who at me I be and uh, legend Ankasa and Ghana Ashere and there has been a lot of tribute among for pay to his memory and because me who said the missing cano was really shocking. And I see a way, but I'm sure sir, the legacy of Daddy Lumba will forever live in the memories of Ghanaians because Nenyom will continue to play. Me, those are the songs I listen to. Saa name for de gunguro for yi nnwom no ɔbɔ adeɛ kye no ankara wobisa no korɔ ɔnkae. But these are guys that were born in the 80s. Still, they are relevant today. And Yuma boys see bo gingren for you after 6 months. Or no ankasa cry no bisa no to. But these are people for over 30 good years. And you're not tenacity to me say uti and ankasa. So for that Lumba, I'm sure say even though he's dead, but forever he will live. And for me, I think say a back Ghana have music and then I say for with all due respect to others, and for me, he's the greatest of all time. There is no doubt about it. I like people like Amachi the day. He's great. He's very powerful. Oforian Ponsa, Nana Tabri, the Abrantia, Kofi B, several other great people, Koyoanchi, several others. But for me, Nana Champon, Amoni DNA, and several other great musicians, Abasinko. But for me, so how that the Lumba etimi twi ne ya yankasa ya kasa o akan kasa ya yankasa ya kasa o moka. But this is a gentleman wotimi sample language no e de ka asem wan kasa wo ka kasa no kwa no wonte de opa wonte ase and how he's able to weave words together to console people e ye do ho nyum e ye yase nyum e ye kutia chese baby a burger her life. Indeed, it's sad. I just hope, sir, that the Lumba will not be added to the a long queue of people who are nothing was done in their name. Ghana has had money in yet. I remember Abra President Kufuor who said Yakusi a dying just as I near my way, even though Nippon and Yadisika. But for me, I think that's near money in Yadia Sebi, Yansa womb. You have to do this, your legacy, Biniam Fan Kaino. Because as you can educate our library, na educate dan edisi no. Yɛde library na yɛde ne din to so a anka nkora bɛkɔ akɔfa book akɔkan akasa mekɔ asomasi library akɔkɔsua adeɛ dansa bɛkɔ akɔsi adan asi nwura makɔsi nipa no hɔ dan no kɔtena ma na akɔyɛ ne dan. So in this case that the Lumba I'm expecting say the family and the people are around no betimi aye some museum bi a betimi in his memory. God Daddy Lumba cannot just die and fade off from the memory of Ghana just like that because what he idea will live you for no or boy a lot of political song before that or before Akufo I don't know but he's somebody you cannot say penasem because talent no idea is God given. It doesn't matter the autonomous man the autonomous no. This is a guy the talent one you can't take it away from him. Gifted, talented, very good while working his way. Oh, for me, I think I hope the family can engage the state to a certain extent. If a museum be crying on by and then the name we're behind akom ama man for akom just to announce a library kasiye bi and anything, music school, anything. say music school, anything be a ebetimi ama the legacy of Daddy Lumba ebe live forever. Na there be a de aka sama kire ebinum say papa bi bae na friend Daddy Lumba. Na ne niema say ko enyom na wabo agu ho no enya enyom a etwam. In the next 50 years, the songs will continue to be relevant. And the young guys, no more, gingring for no should learn from some of these things. And you're not born after 1 year, born by the end. They kwa own hunyans assembly or more kind of move. Man, you might meet here as I know that the Lumba match the day for rampon someone. I know that mimi who say I am, but I can't deny they didn't. I don't even waste my time. They say me nyanka so mo nya they will be so no, but for me those things anya me lie. So yama abusuafo hyeden na obuntimi nye adetitire bi mfan Daddy Lumba, because for me I say when it comes to music in Ghana, he is the greatest of all time. In the Ghana Lusu Adekesiye. That is just by the way. So and discussion have no is about budget ever seen koy and emu and some Ghana yaka and where we are and the need for us a bit me name. Yes, the signs are quite positive. Now adeba I think John Mahama adeba me free says a Ghana for me the support man na otimi implement here. Ghana will really transform. Sa ade na wotete yesi a friend a big push. Ebi ana wunya daje enyankom eye package a. Said what's your packaging no? Wherever you are across the length and breadth of this country, you really going to have a fair share of it. Because over the years, some of these big infrastructure and you don't very often see over here now quite segmented a particular area. But for instance, when it comes to road, all the major roads across the country are the linking and the connecting roads. So these are the major roads that connect Accra, Kumasi, Sunyani to Sampa. Long road, then other way, so you can connect this big road, main roads, so be a fast. These are the roads where you mark here. I can't say Accra to Kumasi now, say on the express road, to see say feasibility studies underway, and smartly, the question is the question I'm for is that the sikani free na eba. We say culture say oil sikano. Yenya sika no yemfanye nyansade bia wo krom asei ade kase a etimi de aye na de abrajo mahama ba ya obesa atoabo gas processing we no ehu sika no bi and some other investment yede aye nkakra de aka ne nyina no sika na ebenya free oil no mu no ye pia kwasha budget no mu. So at the end of the day you don't see any sign of actual development bia. So this time round he's referencing the oil revenue Now I'm making sure say Sikana ye free oil directly is going to finance some of these major projects because oil no ye me no nyina Japan and the adentina yam fan ya kwan ababoa and to say Kumasi Accra road is going to be an express 3-lane road that headache na man for from ya me ko Kumasi me kwa ha sa ne mani nyina ne be free ho me free say name be say it me koso a benefit obia. So these are some of the major things, and I hope say enkwaya kasa so sa keke na enkwaya ye de ano aka na ye be yama Ghana fo anya so mfaso ko ye ka amamu na abato a de nipa hwehwe ane things like this project in the nema about transforming or mine are open the fans saying all the major corridors of the country. So easy flow. And I'm also expecting that some of these things, we must also look at railway. I bet me connect the other parts of Accra because you don't need to spend hours traveling from Tamale to Accra. I bet me some of these quick railway now. I bet me connect in such a way that in a day somebody can go to Tamale and return. without using flight. It me yes na say to and fro so easier. The same way goods and services can also do to and fro. Ebasa and near my born some of these things remember man for one high business na edwadie ne na se for betimi akoso to mpon, and these are some of the things we should be looking at this time. And you making sure that we open up the major corridors na ewo kroma se no se be ya ebenya mfaso. So this big push agenda no, road infrastructure alone is one thing that I'm looking at, because the promise is that in the next 2 years, government is looking to do about 5,000 kilometers. Apart from this package, I think the road fund, is another source of way, and also by other major road or constituencies in the district. That one is different, but this one, as part of the big push agenda, idea abandoned by just to ensure say open. I just hope say something like this can happen and will happen, and Ghanaians will benefit. So it's one big lever. Me pick it from where now. Me person me no share. Na you who say in the coming days, yen yina yedi ano be go aban no, so they make sure say what can obey. But my culture say power, absolute power corrupt absolutely. In some year back can go yan sorry ebia na kobo nchen, but I'm sure say this time round aban na see the so obey no. Indeed he will do it. Now yen so ameno and never boy. Sebaya the headache yenya. And then the next lie will have to do with youth unemployment. By cancer, I since your mom for comb. Now no me can about rent. When you first why bit me lessen the burden, because governance is all about lessen the burden of the impoverished, the marginalized, and the majority of the people who near Jumayano. So the initiative are binding be go akwan money pa ho ahenhan no. Say you betimi create environment that businesses will try, private sector no betimi grow, other sectors betimi grow, and their capacity to employ people widen. So government will have to engage. And you're making sure say some of these partnerships, some of these things are done. Incentive, the necessary platforms are provided. Say by the private sectors and also capacity will be widened. I won't be because a buying cannot employ everybody. Now a buying so betting a bit. I create some of these things, and when it comes to avenues that be create job a man for me I met hey, I can on top of my mind I can mention about 1,000. So if possible, let us try to engage, to open up these avenues. Now you kwan be fa so a you betimi a streamline your system in such a way say you betimi ama nipa nya adwuma ye. Or my culture say youth unemployment anywhere in the world it poses a significant danger to a mind and kasa, to your coercion, to your integration, and to our very survival as a country, and to our development, and to the sustainability of our democracy. So if we leave this thing ajar and just let it glide, hope say things will normalize. Trust me, in the sub-region, what is happening to our neighbors? Sometimes the internal pressure will aid and abet some individuals to take laws into their own hands and do what is not meant to be done. The excesses. Burkina Faso, what happened? I know to all by the Orientino, among for you now, watching so and coup d'etat has been legitimized in Burkina Faso. People see him as a hero because the normal line of governance. Among 42 years, say yes, they tend to veer off and begin to finance their own fancy fixtures, doing stuff. Any positive bearing on the life of the people. So if Ghana, we cannot afford to go that line. So let's do these things just to ensure confidence once again. Said they say by return because run a culture your debt to a GDP, which IMF projected say in the next 10 years and able to hit 45. And unfortunately, within 6 months, yet 43%, which is phenomenal. Debt to your GDP are dropping because your debt now kasaba because the cedi has appreciated. In July, in April, Ghana cedi was the best performing currency in the whole of the world, though, in Africa. April, Now the Ghanaian currency was the best performing currency in the whole world according to Bloomberg, which means we are really appreciating our debt in there so you get space. And then that various and then there is this bilateral discussion going on between Amanfo Omoka France. I'm told that this week the MOU will be signed with other bilateral ways some relief because a kana kenoforata bogu hon was one in 2026, 2027, 2028. Okay, so last me catch us a kana ye burugu hon obi maame and obi papa neighbor between a duru next year. Aside that, debt DDP now mo ye no so no aduru ha what Mahama buy what you no at the chair August will be another one. But he has been smart enough to be able to open SaaS account no de to ha Akufo Addo by umbedi mu sika nyina no. Wase a create biem that sinking fund no. Odi sika egum say eduru a na odi akwa kutua. Governance sometimes so we greed in as a for free man, you'll be able to think appropriately and do things right. So in the short term, I think the outlook is quite positive. And I'm in America. The rating agencies, Bloomberg, whining, or more. Your friends say S&P, your friends saying Moody's, and then Fitch. Or new ratings, they are giving us a positive outlook. I trust that things are really returning. Hope and confidence is once again returning. I've listened to a lot of people just trying to downplay or slide it because they don't think that, come on, way in your politics. I don't know, sometimes you just wish and assure because I buy in a benefit here. For me, that's my motivation. Unfortunately, we are mourning Daddy Lumba, so I don't want to bore you with a lot of political this thing. And I think that Daddy Lumba need to be celebrated because for me, he is the greatest of all time. So far as music, you may disagree, but for me, because I'm a fan of Lumba's music, trust me. So may his gentle soul rest in perfect peace. And thank you very much for also watching this episode. Keep watching, subscribe, because this week is going to be back to back. When you subscribe, you subscribe. Tell a friend to tell a friend, and always come back and check on the on. So what we are say when you notification, search for Ivan Kyei Innocent. Check on the next available video. Watch it and let's grow. Catch your NJBR. I will set up formally and be having discussion. Thank you very much for your time. My name is Ivan Kyei Innocent. 1.